Mahalo everyone, and welcome to another deck video here on the Jolly Scarecrows channel. You're with me, Joe, and today I'm presenting a Abyss Actor deck for the Master Duel game. So this will include cards which aren't valid in the trading card game. If you want to play Abyss Actors in the TCG, we're going to have a deck video on that in the near future. It's a similar build to this, but with some changes to match the ban list. But yeah, let's crack into the Abyss Actors, which are a Go Second Pendulum deck. They're one of my favourite archetypes because I think people maybe underestimate them and the power they have to swing the game on the second turn. Your real main goal is to have the following cards on the field. You would like to have the Comic Relief, both in your Pendulum scale and one face up on the field in attack mode, and you want to have the Abyss Script Abyss Tainment set down. Here's why. When Comic Relief is in your Pendulum zone, you can switch one of your opponent's monsters with one of your own, and when Comic Relief gets switched, you get to destroy a set card your opponent controls. So you give the Comic Relief to your opponent, it'll destroy one of your set cards. When Abyss Tainment is destroyed by a card controlled by your opponent, you get to special summon as many Abyss Actors as you want from your deck. So this can absolutely flood the board, and from there you have wonderful Abyss scripts such as Rise of the Abyss King, which can't be negated if you control a level 7 or higher Abyss Actor, and can destroy face-up cards equal to the number of different Abyss Actors you have. So you can quite easily see you flood the field, you play the Rise of the Abyss King to pop all of your opponent's targets without them being able to negate it, and then you flood for 8,000 points of damage. Okay, it sounds both simple and complicated to achieve, because obviously you need 2 of this monster. We've only got 3 of them. So how do you try and do it? The cards you want to see in your opening hand, except for the Comic Relief, are things like extras. So extras, you can special summon it if your opponent controls a monster, and then you contribute it to place any Abyss Actor Pendulum monster in the Pendulum zone. Similarly, Curtain Raiser, if you control no monsters, you can special summon that too. Both of these we're running in 3. You'll often want to be transforming into Hyper Director. Hyper Director has this similar effect of basically, when you special summon it, you can special summon a Abyss Actor from the Pendulum Zone and replace it with a different Abyss Actor. And more often than not, the one you'll be wanting to get is Mellow Madonna, your main searcher. So with Mellow Madonna, pay 1,000 life points and search for any Abyss Actor. So often your play will be, bring out Hyper Director, Pendulum summon something, have Mellow Madonna then pay 1,000 to search for Comic Relief, put Comic Relief in the Pendulum scale, and then hopefully you're in the situation where you've managed to acquire another Comic Relief to make the big switcheroo. And there are various combos in which you can do that more easily. For example, you've got things like this Wild Hope. When this is destroyed, you can search for an Abyss Actor. So that can often be used. Obviously, to make the big switcheroo, you want copies of Abyss Script Abyss Tainment face down. So to facilitate this, we're running one of our main bosses, actually, Superstar. When it's normal special summoned, your opponent can't activate spells or traps, but once per turn, you can set an Abyss Script directly from the deck. So it does get destroyed at the end of the turn, so if you're using Superstar, you want to be making sure you're going to be able to make that switch, because otherwise you'll lose that Abyss Script. There are ways of getting it back, but they're kind of a bit more convoluted, and actually Abyss Tainment's one of the best ways of doing it itself. We are running 1 copy of Wild Hope because basically this is the ratio we found to be best. We're not running any of the other Abyss Actors because this deck is hunkering down on its best play, which is that big switch. Abyss Actors are pretty good at, because they're a Pendulum deck and a lot of the stuff will end up in the extra deck, and Mellow Madonna gets 1 search per turn. Often if you've got access to a Mellow Madonna, you can quite easily Pendulum summon a whole bunch of monsters, so it's It's quite good at recovery as well. We're running the Kaiju engine, but you, by all means, can replace the Kaijus with whatever hand traps you see fit. It is obviously a go second build, so at the minute, before we can really see how the meta establishes itself, I'm going to be running Kaijus, and we're obviously taking advantage of running 3 Maxi, because why wouldn't you? We're desperately trying to search for our copies of Comic Relief. We're running 2 Call by the Grave, because we're a big special summon combo deck, so whilst we're also running Maxi, we don't want to see the opponents. And running 1 for 1 to fetch out extras, because, yeah, it's a really useful card. Also, when you don't have to go into Hyper Director straight from extras, you can use this effect itself to add a Abyss Actor to the Pendulum Zone, but you can't special summon monsters except for Abyss Actors. And actually a lot of the effects lock you into playing only Abyss Actors, so Hyper Director, Extras, and Mellow Madonna do that, which is why I think this deck hasn't seen a lot of play, and where it has, people often ignore the potential of the extra deck. But actually, we found in testing this that the extra deck can be super useful. So things like Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon can easily be summoned from Raider's Night. All it needs is 2 level 4 Dark monsters. Your Pendulum summoning fairly frequently. Things like Curtain Raiser and Wild Hope. So you can bring that out fairly frequently, and then obviously go to Divine Arsenal. Similarly, because your Pendulum summoning a load, it's not hard to go into Open Masquerena, into Underworld Goddess, or Access Code Talker. So I wouldn't rule out using the extra deck, even though a lot of Abyss Actor decks tell you not to. I think there is good potential there. We are running Extravagance, so we're not. It's not the be all and end all. Banner 6, we want to be seeing our Abyss Actors more than we do the extra deck. Right, I think that'll be enough for this video. It's only a quick tour, and hopefully we'll get some duels for you on the channel in the not too distant future. I hope you enjoy playing Master Duel, and we'll see you for another video here on the Jolly Scarecrows channel.